Hey everybody, it's your boy Taz, back for just a real quick update here while I can get one in. I got a little bit of time today. So what we're going to be doing is creating quests and NPCs for quests in World of Warcraft Azeroth Core. So where do we start here? So the best way to start this is to craft your NPCs first. And that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to go up here. I already have pre-designated numbers. This just happens to be the series of numbers that I'm using for my IDs currently. As long as you can find a free one, feel free to use any number that works for you. Try to keep it low because there is an overload if you go too high up in numbers for some of these values. So just a heads up there. Alright, so we're going to start off, and we've got a quest line that I've already started and have been working on today. I did a little bit of map editing too with the regular Eastern Kingdoms map. If you haven't seen my old video on how to basically create your own maps and import objects into it, I suggest you go watch that. But as a small update to that particular video, editing Azeroth is basically the same exact thing. So any kind of pre-existing map that you edit, it's the same process. You just want to watch for errors and make sure that you don't get any. But that's the update there for map making. Back to NPC creation. So we've got the Flintbeard clan, and we want to create a couple of Flintbeards. Now we've already got Ulrich and Olga, which are the patriarch and matriarch of the clan there. We're going to give them some offspring. So first one is going to be the son, and we will call him... what should we call him? How about... hell, we'll keep it simple. Steel. Flintbeard. We'll spell it weird like we're in the 90s too. Alright, and you can give it a subname. I'm going to say Ironforge Guard. 1st Brigade, actually, just for the sake of giving it some flavor there. So this is going to be, and just for the record, we're using Kiera, which I've showed off before for item creation. This is pretty much the same process, you just have to know what the values are. We're going to make him level 35, and we're going to say the expansion is for Wrath of the Lich King. Faction is going to be Ironforge, which would be this one. We'll say 55 there. It's actually, we're just going to say 47. NPC flag, we're going to give him the quest giver flag. All quest givers and anyone involved with a quest needs this flag in order to function. We're going to make him elite, like his dad. Family, this is for pets and things of that nature. So you can go ahead and add other NPCs if you want. If you want to make a tameable dwarf, I suppose you could do that. Type flags, unit class. Type flags are just going to be different characteristics. There's too many to mention here today, so I'm not going to really get into that. I haven't messed with it too much. And to be honest, I haven't found it too awfully useful. I'm sure that there's a purpose for it, but I don't know what that purpose is. Same thing here with unit flags. Yeah, see, even they don't know. That's what this UNK14 stuff here means. I guess that there's some stuff. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to get too far into the weeds with this. This is a simple quest giver today, and if we need to edit him down the road for the quest line, we will do that. Mechanic, this is how you make basically an NPC immune to stuff. So you can make him immune to pretty much anything listed here. Spell school immunity, you can give him immunity to entire schools of spells there. Extra flags, it's going to be pretty much the same stuff, it looks like. Keep in mind these all stack, so there's going to be, per purposes for these. He's not a vehicle, so we're not going to mess with that. He's not a racial leader, and he's not a pet, so he doesn't have pet spell data. Now, one important thing to remember here is that your models are not automatically done for you, unfortunately, so you have to manually insert them into Heidi SQL to get those to work. And I'll go through that process with you a little bit later today. Minimum gold, that's how much he drops if he dies. We'll give him something. He's an elite, so we'll make it worth your while if you can get into Casmodan and kill him. He's not a trainer, so you're just going to leave this blank, but if he were a trainer, you would go ahead and you would pick your trainer class over here. I have yet to really mess with this too much. I know that you can add spell IDs here, so actually what you could do is, we'll get into that at a later date if we really want to get into the weeds of how to create a class trainer. Loot. So this is your loot tables. You can pick one from the pick a favorite monster and kind of copy it, or you can make your own loot table if you want in Heidi SQL. That's again a whole different bag of worms, and we're not going to get into that too much. Same here for skinning loot and pickpocket loot. Those are just different classifications of the same thing. His damage, we're going to say 250 to 400. He is an elite after all, so why not? Base attack time will make 2 seconds. These are in milliseconds, just in case you didn't know. And as you can see, there are some lovely tooltips for some of these. Some of these I don't think the creators really knew what the values did, but a lot of the work has been done for us here. AI name, we're going to go ahead and select Smart AI. I select that for pretty much everything in Azeroth Core, and it doesn't tend to let me down. Sometimes it does. And there are other purpose-built ones in here, so it'll tell you here what they all do and how they behave if you assign that to them. We're going to give them the idle stay in place, but you can also select waypoint movement for these guys. Just a heads up there. You got your movement ID. This is, not going to be used by us today. Again, you can read into the tooltips if you want, but this just being a simple guy, we're not doing that. You can scale them up and down in size, put a damage modifier, health modifier, all this stuff's down here for your user experience. And that is going to basically finish that up. So we're going to keep this entry ID in mind, and we're going to say execute. And just so you guys know, this is actually the SQL command that it's going to run when we do this. And this is how you would follow the syntax. You can kind of see here it goes left to right. So here are your fields, and here are your values. So you can see for entry in this specific instance, we've got 350005, and that will be our ID that we look up. So let's go ahead and execute that, and that's gone into our SQL server. Let's head over to Heidi SQL now. You can see I was messing around here on the last one, and basically all we have to do now is to go in, and again, this is a base creature. There's other stuff in here. You can give them a weapon, and I think it is under creature equip template. So if you've got a special sword or axe or mace or something you want to hand him over, all you'd have to do is go in here and probably create a new row and put in the appropriate fields, including item ID, like as in the item IDs that we've done previously. Alright, so creature template model is the table that you want to be in to edit, and here we are going to do exactly what I just described, only we're doing it in this table. So we're going to duplicate row without keys, and up here we're going to give it that old creature entity ID that we gave it before. And for the creature display ID for this creature, it is, I did my homework, 3087. That's what we want it to have. So basically it's just going to be a generic dwarf and chain armor, And yeah, that's basically what that is. Let's go ahead and give him a weapon too. Why not, right? I mean, we're here. He's an infantry. Why wouldn't we do that? So let's see. Um, yeah, sure, whatever. Well, we'll pick one. Let's see if we can't find one. We'll do a query real fast here. Select all from creature equip underscore template where ID equals 350005 instead of 3. You can see I had one left over. Alright, we confirmed there isn't one in here. So, really quick, I just want to check and see something real fast, guys. I apologize. And actually, over here is where I ended up getting the model ID. I think I used this guy. Is either him? No, it was this one. I used him. Brander Iron Hammer. And basically what you do is you'll select him, type .npc info, and then you're going to look here for the display ID, which is 3087. That's what we typed in. There's the faction is correct at 55. He is level 50. All that fun stuff's in here for your viewing entertainment there. And I suppose if we wanted to look at something from, say, Stormwind, where I've already edited the guards in Stormwind to have better swords, let's take a look here at what they are using. Okay, so you can see here I've given them my version of their of the expeditionary short sword, and it just looks better. It's a better sword than what they were using, those little short sword things that they're just dorky. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this one here and look for the display ID for this particular creature. Well, that'll tell us what the, so 5446. Let's see here. 5446. Let's see what we get. Interesting. Yeah, I seem to have. Oh, that's because I'm going for the display ID. That's why. 68 actually is what we're looking for. Pardon me, I do make mistakes because I am still learning this. You can't sit here and tell me honestly that there isn't a 68. Ah, that's the problem. We need it to say creature ID in the query. That is our problem. There we are. Item ID is 90,007. Let's go ahead and take that, and we will pop that. Actually, what we're going to do is duplicate the row again without keys. And what we're going to do here is just give it the ID of the NPC we just created. So there we go. Now he should have a nice looking Stormwind Soldier's sword, long sword that we created from a previous engagement. And you can also give him a different helmet and a different shield as well. I'll bet you if we go back in here and go, we don't need to necessarily give him a, Stormwind shield. Let's give him an Ironforge shield. So let's see what this guy's info is here. And what do you got for me, buddy? Let's see here. Alright, so here's his entry is 5595. Let's see what his is. And he's using this, I believe, is his shield, and that is his sword. So we'll go back quickly on that query. And yeah, let's just we'll do this a little bit at a time and see what we get. That'll tell us what item ID 2 is. I suspect it's the shield, but it might be the helmet. Alright, and now that we've got that set up, let's go ahead and log out of the game. We'll exit and quit here, and we're going to gently close our servers in typical fashion and let the server update with the new SQL information we just gave it. And we'll wait for the ding. There it is. Alright, didn't see any errors in there except for one for not having a follow-up quest. That's typical. And let's go ahead and go to Keranos now. Alright, we're in Keranos, and over here is where I put our humble abode for these dwarves. Now I'll have to take care of that one later and remove him from the creature spawn template. But yeah, I actually, gosh, come on. There we go. I don't have to worry about that nonsense. So here's Ulrich, the patriarch, and wow, that's a problem. That's supposed to be his wife. Clearly that's a male. Sometimes it will, with these IDs, give you random genders, which can be a problem. So these generic guards like I used here is probably not a very good model for that. Just a heads up. So you might want to pick something like I did, which with this character, the paladin. And let's see what we get here. NPC add 355, and there's his son. And I was correct. That's the shield. And so great, we've got him. Steel Flintbeard, boom. Ironforge 1st Brigade. However, he doesn't seem to be with Ironforge. That's interesting. That's what I get for messing around in Kiera with his allegiances, I suppose. But I think that's a pretty solid looking character, right? He's gonna, he's got his full color. He looks like he's young enough to be this dude's son. The wife needs work, I'm not gonna lie, but hey, I'm not judging. And that's the creation of the NPC. So the next thing we're gonna actually do, because I tested with this character, is we're gonna delete him, and we're gonna back out of here for a minute, and we're gonna go ahead and shut the server down too. And let's go ahead and fix while we're here, just real quick. Since this is all already open, you can actually go in and edit things that are actually existing. So that's actually kind of a nice feature there. But we actually want this faction to be Ironforge for real. So we're gonna click at that time there and not mess with that anymore. And we'll go ahead and say execute. And then the only thing that it updated in that, as you saw, that SQL query was much actually shorter than the initial one. All it did was go in and put in the faction ID. So that's NPC creation. Now we are also going to want our next quest. So you can see where I was working on one prior, basically telling you go kill a wolf, right? We're going to take the next quest number from the last quest, and we're going to put it over here, and that's going to be this quest's entry ID number. And we're going to update this to reflect that the quest chain is moving along. The quest giver this time will be Olga, ugly as she is, and the quest completer will be our new guy, 350005, otherwise known as Steel Flintbeard. So we're gonna go ahead and update the recommended quest level to 5. We're gonna say minimum level is gonna be 5. Why not? Why not, right? And we're going to go head up here and we're going to change the name here. We're just going to call this Meet the Flintbeards. Now, this is actually going to get rather in depth, and I'll take my time doing some better writing. But for the cases we're about to see here, just for the sake of moving things along, we're going to keep it rather short and sweet. So, she sets us down, gives us some food, right? And then the quest giver is going to be the mom, so we're going to be speaking from her perspective on this. And what we're just going to do something here. So she just fed us. Let's say, I hope you enjoyed the stew. I've been retired now for a few years, and I've worked intensely on my cooking skills. Since you're a fighter yourself, you ought to go have a chat with Steel and see what kind of insight he can grant you to the area. If you get the time, you should ask him about his tenure as assistant quartermaster during the Second War. Dwarves live to be a long time. The guy doesn't look very old, right? But, dwarves can live a couple hundred years as far as I understand it. So, seems to me it's reasonable that this guy might have been a young dwarf during the Second War. And this time the quest objective is just going to be talk to Steel Flintbeard. And reward text is going to be, well met. If you put $N, that will take your character's name and insert it into the text, no matter what it is. Met me, ma, and what can I do for ye? I've many a fancy yarn to spin, and some good advice for traversing the harsh terrain of Casmodan, if you're interested. Try to give him a little bit of an accent, right? Why not? And so for that, we've got that set now. The previous quest, you can see what I've changed down here. That's going to be your faction ID. So this one up here is Stormwind, and that one there obviously is Ironforge, which I believe actually is 47, based off of Kiera here. So this is where you kind of want to pay attention, right? So the faction and Trinity Creator for quests is going to be this column, and the faction ID that you assign to the NPC will be this column. Now, Ryan, why are you using two different tools that edit the same thing? The answer to that is, I think this is a lot more intuitive. I think Trinity Creator did a lot better on their quest line, and it still just happens to function. Now, if I went to go try to create a NPC with Trinity Creator, it would not work because Azeroth Core got rid of model ID in its file structure or in its SQL structure. So that's why we're using Kiera, because it's purpose built for Azeroth Core as opposed to Trinity Creator, which was, you guessed it, built for Trinity. Alright, we're gonna give it the shareable quest tag. That is fine. And up here is where we do the rewards and all that fun stuff. You can get a spell cast on you as a reward. You can reward honor, arena points, talent points, and a title if you like. You can put a time limit on the quest. You can make the quest require player kills for PvPs. Or you can require the player go kill some things. Right here, this is that wolf we were talking about. That's the NPC ID of the wolf. We're going to get rid of this because this is just a talking quest. And we're going to get rid of this because there was no amount. You can also make it a gathering quest. There's your required items here. And the other thing you can do is require that basically a character stay alive. There are escort quests. So we can get a little bit more in the weeds with the quest types a little bit later and try to get maybe a little fancier with it, make some things, dynamic and a little bit more interesting. You can also set your objective coordinates for points of interest. So all you would have to do there is designate the map you're on. For Azeroth, I believe it's map 1. And your coordinates here are obviously just going to be your coordinates, which you can find either in Nogget or in game by selecting either a game object or an NPC in an area that you would like that NPC to, or basically the coordinates of your point of interest to be. Nogget's going to be more accurate, just so you know. So I believe we've edited everything that we need to here. We've got it's a 1 silver for a reward, which is more than fine for just asking you to talk to a guy across the room. Don't have to kill anybody. Don't need to collect anything. Don't really need any of this stuff here. Obviously, your quest giver, this is your NPC giving the quest, that's Olga, and this is the completer, which is Steel. And player amount, you can have a recommended number of players. This won't necessarily cap it. You can change it to a group, life, PvP, raid, dungeon, world event, legendary, escort, heroic, raid, 10 or 25 man in terms of what type of quest it is. And quest sort I have not found a use for. So I hope that covered all the values you were interested in. You can add class limitations and race limitations too at the bottom. And you can also set flags or not set flags, which are these down here. So, for instance, if we were doing an escort quest and we wanted the quest to have our escort stay alive, we would check this box, and the creature ID would basically be, I think, up here. Yeah, it would. So if you wanted, the wolf to stay alive, for instance, you would have kept the NPC ID up here, and you would have checked the stay alive thing. And of course, you can also make it have these different flags down here too. All right, that's enough talking about that. Let's go ahead. We'll export this to database, and it's done. So one other thing. Now that we've done this, we cannot really go back and fix anything, at least not in my experience. So it is best practice to, if you've got a working quest line that you don't want to mess up and you're on quest number 11, do a test run first. Get another quest, get your entry ID way the heck away from what you're working on that is currently working, and go do a test run. Like if you want to try an escort mission, I'm not going to put that escort mission in here until I know how it works intimately, because I've put a lot of work into this already, and it's only a 3-thing long quest line trying to get this stuff to work. So don't mess your work up, um, because you can back your SQL server up, but it's kind of hard, and it's really hard to go back and fix things once they're set. Because as you can see here, one of the biggest downfalls of the Trinity Creator quest templates is that they're not nice like here. They don't tell you what the SQL query being run in the background actually is. Now, you can export to a SQL file if you want, I guess, and maybe that would work out. You could get it that way, but it's an extra step. I don't recommend it. Just make sure you do it right the first time, right? That's all I'm saying. All right, let's go in and we'll go back to auth server here, fire her up. World server, fire her up. We'll go ahead and fire this up too. Wait for the ding. It's coming. There it is. All right, we're in. We're going to create a new character, and we're going to go through the entire quest line just really damn quick and do what we got to do. Because that's what he looks like with that haircut. All right. Yeah, cool. All right, and this was the first guy I created named Sergeant Elliston. I'm going to talk to him, and you can see here that I have a problem with spelling. But yeah, that's our initial quest. So basically, go meet this dude in Ironforge as an Alliance emissary. Alright, we're in Ironforge. Hell of a trip. You can see this is working with the question mark there. There's our second guy. That's the emissary. Hello, emissary. Complete the quest. And now we got to go meet Ulrich and Keranos, right? So let's go ahead and tell her to Keranos. And the quest is designed to give you that much gold at the beginning so that you kind of get a little bit of spending money as a new character and make things somewhat interesting. Trying to create new quest lines for all classes that are intricate, interesting, go a long way into the game, and are actually worth doing. Oh dang! How about them apples? Crazy. Hey, thank you, Barrick, whoever you are. It's just one of the random NPC bots that's on here. So here's our mark. You can see also, yeah, I created the whole new thingy. I think I showed that off at the beginning though, not even important. Alright. Yeah, so here's the guy. Lad, you fit the description. We didn't just stand there. Alright. Okay, cool. He tells you to put your gear down, right? Now you go talk to him. He wants you to go kill a wolf. Let's go kill a wolf. Oh no. Well, that was odd. She just stood right up. And you can see here where it's tracking the quest. Everything's showing up pretty much exactly as I wanted. Of course, this is previous work, so keep that in mind. But just proof of concept, it works. This is the method to the madness for you guys. And off we go. We're back down here, and now we gotta talk to Mrs. Flintbeard. All right, here's your here's your end of the quest, and you can see that's actually what she's supposed to look like every time. Of course, now this dude's not got gray hair anymore. But I can see the family resemblance, so it works out. Alright, pleased to meet you, Toolbag. Set your things down. Let me get some food in you. You'll need it working here. Alright, nice. Okay, so we'll continue talking to her. And that's what we just typed, right? I hope you enjoyed the stew. I've been retired now, but blah, 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 blah. You should go ask him about his tenure as assistant quartermaster during the Second War, and we'll say accept. And now it wants us to go talk to Steel. It's almost like this was planned. That just fits so nicely. Well met, Toolbag. Anyways, that is the nuts and bolts of how to create a quest. I'll put links to Kiera and um, also Trinity Creator in the description. But as you can see, this works pretty well. It's pretty straightforward. There's some stuff that you can definitely mess up if you're not paying attention. But you know, all in all, it seems to work pretty good. So I'm gonna continue messing around with this, and as I discover new things, I will share them with you guys, and hopefully that will set you up for success too. So it's a fairly basic tutorial, but I hope that this helped. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and we will catch you guys on the next video. Happy holidays, everybody.